And so when you realize that, when you're like, oh, this is more adaptive than technical, what do you do? Like you talk about, for instance, about getting on the balcony, which is Heifetz language. You know what? Oh, I don't know
Yeah,
what do
yeah,
you do?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm dealing with an adaptive challenge. What's next?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that certainly is a huge step too, because I think sometimes we're going, why is this so hard, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so you just go, okay, it's an adaptive challenge, and adaptive challenges aren't bad or wrong. It's just the nature
Mm-hmm.
of what it is, but it requires a different approach. And so I think that's a big step. And then identifying like what specific adaptive challenges, like I said, picking apart what are the technical pieces or what are the
Mm-hmm.
technical pieces that are complicated by emotions in this have and now have shifted it to be more adaptive, and like you
Mm-hmm.
said, getting on the balcony, there's this idea of like we have to be able as leaders to, in one sense, take ourselves out of it, which is so hard, especially if it's like we feel very passionately about something. We want it to
Mm-hmm.
like, why isn't this happening? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so part of it is just identifying the nature of the challenge and then the nature of what it's doing in us and
Mm-hmm.
to us, and then having appreciation saying, okay, well, if I'm feeling this anxiety or this stress or disequilibrium, it's just all very disorienting.
Yeah.
And so if I'm feeling that, surely other people in this situation or in the organization are doing that.
Right.
And
Right.
and that's what makes the system so complex because again,
Mm-hmm.
every change changes everything. So
Mm.
then really adaptive leadership is a lot about what I call the art of leadership. So I think leadership is like there's a gift piece, there's a skill piece that you can learn and teach, but there's a huge art piece, which is the wisdom of knowing what skills to apply in what amount, what quantity, in what time frame, kind of thing. And that's part of like how to, Ivan talks about regulating distress. And
Mm.
so that's a big part of the art. What's the pace needed here? What's needed and at what pace?
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually way more complex than we think. I've talked
Yeah.
to different leaders who, we think this should take 6 months, and really, it's a multi-year thing to really, like, for example, change a
Yes.
culture or to deal with
Yeah.
all those. And it keeps emerging. Like you think you have a handle on it, and then somebody's stuff pops up over here. It's like whack-a-mole
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
going.